What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Three Bald Guys Outdoors. And I'm Colin Burnett.
PappyJ, Rusty Brock.
And call him Pappy, call him Shrek, whatever you want to call him. They got nicknames.
Dr. Doolittle.
No,
Because he does very little.
Hey, we'll see who gets all this stuff set up and all this stuff ready to rock and roll. But other than that, guys, we're going to do it is an outdoor podcast. We're going to go from fishing, hunting, talking guns, talking about camping, anything that's kind of outdoors. We're going to hit topics and stuff that's maybe not considered outdoors. We're going to talk about sports, what's things that we're just into and just going to have fun, just chit chat, banter around, give each other a hard time. Just friends giving friends a hard time. We think that it's going to be fun, and we always enjoy talking about this stuff. And but with that being said, right now, guys, we got the college football playoffs going on, and I thought for sure with the college football, the SEC comes in there, and SEC role is to make it to the bowl games and make it to the playoffs and whatever and win bowl games. But these two guys' teams goes to bowl games and
Flat out take it down.
and just flat out not even show up. My team comes in there and shows them what it's all about. And I've been telling old Pappy over here that just watch next year, 2025 national or SEC champions is going to be Vanderbilt University, anchored down, and old Pappy, he believes me.
You know, there's so much to be said about that.
So
it's easy for a team to win the toilet bowl. So when you're not playing anybody and you can go in there and you win a game. But I don't know that it was as easy as what everybody says it was for Vandy. I give it to Vandy. Vandy had a good season this year.
Yeah.
But
they beat your team.
You know what? The whole state of Tennessee beat my team. So, I ain't got a whole lot to say about Tennessee this year. Other than the fact, all good. The only thing good about Tennessee is the road that leads out of Tennessee. But the college football season was quite a different year this year, to say the least. From start to finish. I know, Alabama, they had a new coach that they broke in, new OC. Quarterback play wasn't the best it's been in a while, long while. Jalen Milroe won't take nothing from him. He's a good guy. But, there were some things that Kalen DeBoer should have done I say that as a fan on the outside looking in, I think he should have probably pulled him a couple times. But, when you get paid millions of dollars, you really can't see it a quarterback or any player as far as that goes. That'd be kind of like, at our current job, they just say, okay, well, we're gonna pay you all this money, but you just go on home and don't worry about it. We got you today,
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind it either, especially working with you, but that's beside the point. But no, college football was definitely it was kind of a crazy year this year. Tennessee, they had a good season. They're on the up and up. Vandy's on the up and up. It seems like all these NIL deals and the portal, seems like it's kind of leveled the playing field from my eyes. There's a lot of teams now that are competing like that, like Arizona State last night. Texas they about lost that game.
And they're appealing. There's a call in overtime that they're appealing. I don't know what it's going to do, but they're appealing it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was last night, not for last. But then one of the big teams that I thought that wouldn't have really an issue was Georgia. Man, that was
they hit a struggle bus.
Gosh, mighty man. I mean, no, and not taking anything away from Notre Dame. That like old Marcus Freeman, the head coach of Notre Dame, he's really brought that program up, and he's put his own stamp in it. But the biggest thing that I've seen so far is his defense. Man, his defense is relentless. They jumped all over Georgia last night.
Yeah, but how much though of that? Not knocking Notre Dame by no means, but how much of it was lack of playing experience on Georgia's quarterback?
Yeah, I mean they did have was it Gunnar Stockton?
Yeah,
their backup quarterback to Carson Beck, I guess. I mean, people can say what they want. Even your number 2 quarterback, and he could have been a 5-star coming in. He gets the same amount of reps, but it's hard for a backup quarterback to come in and take the field and do what the other quarterback's done.
But if there's a difference in which the rest of or both of y'all know, both of y'all played football. But there's a difference, though, from practice reps to game time reps.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big difference.
When you're not getting that game time rep, and I think that they said, I was listening to or started watching the game last night before I had the other podcast to do, but they said that he only had 4 starts last year. Or he only played 4 times. It wasn't 4 starts. He played 4 times last year. And that's all of his collegiate playing time was 4 reps besides what he got in the SEC championship. But, coming out in the SEC championship, I thought he was going to be a whole lot better game because he came out and he showed what he could do. I don't know what was the difference in between last night against Notre Dame and the SEC championship against Texas, because I think Texas does have a better defense than what Notre Dame does. And he just picked them apart. Maybe it's because Texas, the time that he came in, maybe it was the fact that Texas defense was a little winded because it was, came in the third quarter.
I think it was like the third or fourth quarter. I tell you what the big difference of that is they didn't Texas. They probably have never really seen a lot of film on Gunnar Stockton. So when he came in and started playing, they hadn't seen any film on him.
Oh, because they had no reason to.
Right. So and I think that helped out Notre Dame a lot. Because, they already seen what little film that they had on him. They knew that, he could run it. He's not afraid to tuck it and run it. I don't think he's as accurate as Carson Beck.
Maybe not even have the arm.
Yeah, he dropped a few balls down in the basket, but I don't know. You could tell there was a lack of experience there.
Yeah.
Definitely a lack of experience. Next year, who's to say? He may come out and just absolutely tear it up. But
you also got to think, through the season, Georgia, they had one of the toughest schedules this year, by far.
Mm-hmm.
They're banged up.
Oh, absolutely.
This playoff adds so much more.
Right. Well, and then also the fact, it's not just Georgia, but how many people, the teams that's in the playoffs, how many teams that lost at least 5 or 6 people through transfer portal or going to the draft? Georgia lost a bunch. I heard that Georgia had 7 or 8 that they had lost that was starters through either one, the transfer portal or going to the draft.
And I just sitting here listening to you guys. Also, we didn't even factor in, it also got delayed for 24 hours because of what happened in the sugar or what happened But see, because you think about it, you know,
in the French Quarter.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, these kids, they're already, you know, they've been prepping, preparing, and everything. I mean, I don't know that would have. It's got to have some kind of mental effect.
Yeah.
To me, just knowing the fact that, okay, you know, you had this guy do what he did, and then not only that, they found IEDs in certain locations. You know, and maybe not, but you know, it could very well have some kind of an effect. The fact that it got delayed for 24 hours. Because I know, as you know, you anytime you have any kind of delay, if you got a good momentum. Now, of course, they wasn't playing; it was before. But I would, well, I don't even know if it would be the same because you know, you play in a game, you get in the lightning delay, you stop playing, and then come back out. It's kind of hard to restart, and restart. Yeah. But mentally, you know, I wonder if that was just something that they were thinking about in the back of their mind, you know, but still pushing through. But needless to say, Notre Dame came out ready to play. I mean, you know, they
definitely came out and flat hit them in the back.
Oh, yeah, and that was something else, man. I couldn't believe how physical Notre Dame was. I've never seen that from Notre Dame. Never.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, and looking at how they play and stuff, kind of off the subject a little bit, but how they play is kind of makes you wonder, like, why don't they're ACC and everything besides football. They're not even in a conference. They're by themselves. That's the reason why. And people give them a hard time about them not being in a conference. And they give them a hard time about, well, they're always going to a bowl game. Well, this year, I mean, they played a solid schedule. And I think they earned it. I mean, and then seeing what they done last night really proved the fact that, yeah, they should have been up there. But, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with how everything's going here in a couple of years, though, that if they make a switch and I mean, I like to see them. I like to see that matchup every year if they join the SEC.
Well, I heard that people were pushing for them to join a league or a conference, rather not a league, but a conference. And I think they should. I mean, because you know they're an independent conference, right? So if they finish out in the top 11. They're pretty much going to be in, as long as they handle business on their schedule wise. And that's kind of unfair to the other conferences because they don't have to play a conference championship or anything like that. So you know, now I'm sure they'll all get it all right, but to me it seems like it would be a little it would make more sense if they would join some kind of conference.
Yeah.
Whatever conference, it don't matter, but a conference that plays for a championship. And, you know, that might be something that CFP needs to go back and look, whether they should even play in a conference championship anymore. Well, you know, or have one.
I think they should have them. But kind of going like what you're saying, and having an extra week off to heal up and get people back on the roster, back healthy, makes a difference. Because look at the bye weeks and stuff like that when they're able to get people to get back on the field. But when you're at the end of the season and you play that last game and then you've got the championship that following week, and then you've got 3 weeks until you start playing bowl games. Well, you just gave them a month. You're giving them an extra to get healthier. Not saying nothing. Not trying to bash Notre Dame, but I agree that they should be in a conference to where, I mean, if you don't play in the conference championships, you're getting that week anyways. I guess they can kind of say it all depends on really kind of what team you're voting for and what are they doing, you know.
Well, let me ask you all's insight on this. I mean, so as it stands right now, you know, we got Texas, Ohio State, January 10th at 7:30. Then you got Penn State and Notre Dame January 9th at 7:30. How do y'all feel about those 4 matchups right there?
I didn't see it. Did you?
No, I saw an SEC school name other than Texas.
Yeah.
There.
I had Georgia going all the way.
Yeah.
I had Texas playing Oregon, and I thought Texas would be better than Oregon. I really didn't think Oregon was as highly favored as as good as what they've been saying, because strength of schedule and like what we've all talked about prior to was when you've got an SEC teams or you're in the SEC, your weakest team that has the weakest schedule still has one of the toughest schedules in college football, because them guys are pounding on each other week in, week out, and it doesn't matter to the extent of if it's Alabama, Tennessee, or Vandy or whatever. Them guys are still getting pounded on, and they're not playing what I call powder puff games. And they played 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks are kind of what would say gimme games, but then after that 4th week, it's all about SEC football. And I think that's one thing that people that's not their teams are not in the SEC, they don't realize like how much pounding that these kids get when they're playing in the SEC.
Well, you can also make this argument, all right? Ohio State, their roster cost them $20 million this year.
That's ridiculous.
$20 million. All right? Yeah, they came out and beat Tennessee pretty bad. Bottom line. Look what else they've done. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. This is the way college football is going now. Whoever's going to pay the biggest money is going to be playing in the playoffs. Bottom line.
Well, that kind of goes like to how I look at it. Kind of goes like to baseball with the Yankees and the Dodgers. Every year, the Yankees and the Dodgers are going to have the highest payroll. They've got the most money, but having the highest payroll does not get you World Series champions.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Last year it did with the Dodgers. The Dodgers last offseason spent over $1 billion on 2 players. And, that's just, it's crazy to think that 2 people are worth over $1 billion.
I thought it was crazy what they paid Kershaw.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
Well, I get, y'all heard what, and you and I talked about this yesterday, that Quentin Ewers got offered $6 million.
Did they say who offered it?
To transfer?
Yeah.
Go!
An agent had contacted him and said that if he would transfer, that it would be a $6 million deal.
Go, make it while you can.
Well, Texas, and we were talking about it yesterday, Texas has already said next year's starting quarterback is going to be Arch Manning.
It has to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll wind up losing him if they. Which I'd heard that Ole Miss was already, trying to finagle him over there. Now I don't know if that's true or not.
You'll see. He'll be wearing that black and gold.
You need to get off that Vandy train. So
that's the way college football's going. Whoever pays the most is where these guys are going to end up going.
Yeah.
But in the long run, what I was trying to get to, my point was, who has Ohio State played this year?
Penn State.
Okay.
And Michigan. That's it. And we've seen how.
That's it.
And they played more Oregon.
They did play Oregon.
Yeah, they played, but Oregon beat them.
Yeah. By
1. It was a much better game last time than it was this time. And that's something going back to what you were saying on the money that they spent, Ohio State spent on their roster. They go in and they lose to Oregon, of course, but they beat Penn State, but turn around and lose to Michigan. and then come in, in the first playoff, which I thought Tennessee was going to win that game. I really thought that Tennessee was going to beat Ohio State.
Well, Tennessee paper-wise had the better defense.
Right now,
but their defense did not show.
Ohio State is the better team than any of these teams currently. I think
definitely.
I think Ohio State, if they stay hot like they are right now, it's going to be hard for anybody.
Well, I mean, not just $20 million in the roster. I mean, look at their coaching staff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They got Chip Kelly.
That was a big addition. That was a big addition.
Yeah.
I mean, you got two coaches that have been there and done it.
Yeah.
On the same staff.
Yeah.
I mean,
even on a bigger grand of scales of stuff. I mean, what they have. I mean, they've got NFL coaches coming in and helping out and stuff like that. I totally agree. I mean, the coaches, they set that team up. I don't think they expected it this year to be as good as what it was.
Yeah. Then why would you spend $20 million?
I mean, but you got to set stuff up to be able to get stuff going for next year.
If I'm going to spend $20 million on a football team, you better win.
I mean,
because I've got better things to do with $20 million.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think that the bye, because Oregon got the number 1 seed, do you think that hurt them?
Yes.
It's hurt every team.
It's hurt every one of them.
Every one this year.
Oregon had the longest. They had the longest bye. They had the longest time off before they had to play a game.
Right.
And so does being the number 1 seed even worth it?
No.
You know what I mean? Is it worth it? Because they got beat by 20 points. And then so Ohio State has scored 83 points in the past 2 games they played and have given up 38. They've outscored what they've given up. And that's going from a good Tennessee team to what we thought was a really good Oregon team and just mopped the field with them.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're going to go, now they got Texas. I'm curious. This is going to be an interesting game for me.
That's going to be a slobber knocker.
I think it's going to be interesting because, we talk about how Ohio State has spent $20 million. Texas, in turn, has spent equally the same amount of money with all their kids. I mean, Texas that's a bull state, and they got the money. And not just Texas, but all of the Texas schools.
But I mean, you can tell by looking at Ohio State's defense, the size.
Oh yeah,
the mass of these guys, the muscle. This Ohio State defense is for real.
Yeah,
I see them winning it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were talking. If you would have asked us 2 weeks ago, I would have said that it was going to be an SEC national championship.
Oh yeah, hands down. I was not expecting any of this.
And now we're looking at it, and there may not even be an SEC team playing.
It could be a Big Ten championship. Yeah. That's what's crazy because I don't know.
How long has it been since we've had that? A non-SEC school with a national championship
17? 17, well, not when an SEC team hasn't been in there?
Yes.
Oh, it's probably been early 2000s.
Let's see.
Because the 17 was when Clemson won, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they played Bama, did they not?
They did. So, but, I mean, to go back to when there was not an SEC team in contentions for a national championship,
man, it's been a weird year.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing, though, about the playoffs, I think they kind of need to restructure it maybe. I don't know what would be the best way for them to restructure because I think a couple of teams that got into the 12 should not have been there.
Yeah, like Boise State.
SMU. And, I mean,
But I mean, also look at this. You know, you go back to the start of the bracket when they announced the brackets. Did y'all guys not pick up the SEC schools had the hardest way to the national championship game than the other schools?
Well, when they had them playing each other, besides Georgia, Georgia was the only one that did not have an option to where they were playing another SEC team.
Yeah, because I mean, I think Tennessee got screwed. They should have had a home game, and they should have played Ohio State first. They should have had Boise State or SMU.
And I guarantee you, nobody picked Alabama, Notre Dame to beat Georgia, and I think
Georgia's offensive line was bad last night.
But
it was.
That was bad.
But I think, and people, you've been hearing it all the time, or here of late, that these sports are rigged and yada yada. But I think they set it up like that to where that was the best option for them not to have a SEC team playing another SEC team.
It's about the money.
Yeah.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, because if you have Big Ten playing SEC, now you got both conference people that watches both conferences going to be watching that national championship.
Yep.
And that's what it's about. That's what they want. And when you got SEC teams, yeah, you're going to have people that's not SEC, that does not have a team in the SEC watching it. But 95% of those people are going to be SEC team fans.
And about even watching the games, this playoff, the SEC schools are traveling really well. Mm-hmm. Look what Tennessee did. Went to Ohio State. It was basically half and half, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Look what Georgia. Last night Georgia. All I saw was a bunch of Georgia.
There's a bunch of red.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that South Carolina and Illinois game?
I'm with.
Old Boomer was hot.
That was.
You have a coach on the opposing team. One that blatantly was taunting the other taunting South Carolina, and which me and you talked about it. We were out to eat, and we was talking about that, how the rules are written. If the offense substitute, the defense gets to substitute up to twice. Well, Illinois substitute out, and then they substitute the second time, and those guys were walking off the field. Mm-hmm. Were not running, was not trotting, and the ref on the ball did not leave the ball because those players were not off the playing field. Mm-hmm. And South Carolina had to use a timeout, or they would have got a flag. In a way, and I understand what you were saying, because you said that's smart ball.
It is. You just made a team waste a timeout.
Yeah, because how important would an extra timeout be when they had the ball last?
They might have not thought it was smart, but in theory, it's genius.
Yeah. Well, they use the rules to perfection. To perfection.
It's...
Well, since 2000, there's been an SEC team in the BCS championship 14 out of 24 times.
So there's been 10 years.
Yeah. Since 2000. That's 2000.
Yeah.
an SEC team. I mean, that's a long stint.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, 1 year you had in 14 Ohio State, 16 Clemson, 18 Clemson, and then 23 Michigan.
That one. That's just showing winners, right? It don't show
that's it.
Yeah, so I mean, in that 24 years, there still could be.
Well,
it may even be less than that. If you could see like who they played, and that's what we're talking about, is how many. Even if the SEC lost.
Well, Clemson in 2018 they played Alabama.
Yeah.
And in 2016 they played Alabama. Ohio State in 2014 played Alabama. I don't remember 2013 Florida State. I don't even remember them winning in 2013, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously they did, but
that was the crab legs year where old Jameis Winston stole them crab legs.
Yeah.
Leave him alone when he was hungry. I mean, come on. We all been there.
Old crab legs, man.
Old crabby. He was after them crabs. I forgot all about that, man. That's right.
But is there a rule in college football that you would like to see them maybe get rid of, or maybe even define it a little bit better?
Oh, I got several.
There's a bunch of them.
Definitely that rule. I think that they should there should be some kind of rule on when the offense substitute and the defense substitute. The defense should not be allowed to drag their feet to get those players out there. I think at maybe 10 seconds. I mean, a 10-second play call.
Stop the play clock.
Yeah. I mean, do something. Do something to.
You gotta
it's not the offense's fault for that.
You gotta allow, and how I look at it is, you have to allow that offense to be able to line up. I mean, and if they don't snap, if they're able to line up and they can't snap it in that time frame, that's on them.
Yeah.
But if you got the opposing team walking off and you got 4 players walking off,
I mean, technically it should be defensive delay of game.
Yeah.
But didn't.
But it's not.
But they played it. I mean, they played it perfectly.
That penalty is just genius.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing that I would like to see them change is the targeting. They went target friendly. I mean, not friendly, crazy, I think. Because some of these calls that they had that was called targeting was not, did they hit head to head? A lot of them did.
Did y'all see that play last night?
Mm-hmm.
When was it last night? No, it was the Texas.
It was the Texas game.
I think it was the Texas game. Where was it last night? Doggone.
When they ran the post route?
Yeah, I seen the Texas one where they called targeting.
But took it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the right call. But what I'm saying is, like, I mean, they have, from when y'all played football.
Was that the one where the dude launched into the guy?
Yeah. He come in.
Like, with his shoulder launched, like, because there was one, I was sitting there watching it with my wife. There was one I saw where a player literally left his feet, like old school football, jumped into the receiver, launching himself at this guy and absolutely drilled him, no flag. By rule, launching is targeting.
Yeah.
They didn't call it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they just, and I know they're wanting to protect these players. And it's going to be more so now since, like what you were saying, $20 million is riding on a team. And if you knock somebody out because you hit them in the head or whatever, I understand player safety. But some of these targeting calls, if the person that has the ball goes to make a football kind of play as they're getting tackled, or they're ducking into it, and the defensive person hits them, happens to hit them in the head, what?
It's football. There ain't nothing you can do about that.
No. And
if the offensive player is going to be aggressive and lower themselves into a play as a defender, you can't do anything. What are you going to do? Turn and leave with your shoulder? You're still going to hit him hard enough. You're still going to hit him in the head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no way about it.
But, and I think what was it? That was the one the play that I'm thinking of. I think it was actually an Alabama game. Was it Alabama LSU? The Alabama's defense, I think the safety got targeting, and the dude done exactly that. The defensive guy was already making his move to go to duck to wrap him up.
Oh yeah.
And the run is, I think it was the running back ducked down to take the hit and to hit him back, and they hit head on, and the refs called targeting.
Yeah.
And kicked the dude out. I mean, and to me, I think they need to kind of, if the player cannot protect himself, is not making, I agree with that. If he cannot protect himself from the defensive and make a football play, then I agree.
So I think if it's offensive led,
right,
like the offensive makes their moves first, I think they should start calling targeting on offense.
I'm glad you
offensive targeting.
Because that was what I was about to say. So what are you supposed to do if you got a running back that's barreling down the sideline, in through the middle, and he lowers his head first because there's a defender coming? Well, what's the initial reaction of the defender? To lower his head.
But they're going to go lower.
So who gets at that point, at the initial point of contact, who gets the call? Who should get the call?
Yeah.
It should be the running back initially.
But as a defensive person, and again, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, as a defensive person, what are you always told? Get lower than the other person, right?
Yeah. Right.
So if you see as a defensive person, you see him coming and he's ducking, you're ducking, it's going to happen. But
there's no way around it. It's football.
In fact, I think there was a similar play like that this year that, in fact, the commentators was even talking about this same very thing. Should there be an offensive targeting call? Because it's not right to the defensive to the defender if you got a running back that's coming down and lowers his head. Because again, their initial reaction is to lower yours and get ready for that hit.
Well, look at it this way: what if they did targeting as secondary players only? The guys that get running starts after people, like your safeties, your free safeties. Those guys are the only ones that can target. Because it's either that or we have offensive targeting. But
I agree with that.
But there again, the quarterback thing. You got to understand, being a quarterback in the SEC sucks. It hurts.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. But we can only have so much protection for players before we're playing flag football.
Oh, and it's getting
these guys know what they're doing on Saturdays, and they definitely know what they signed to pay big money for on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's why they're making the money.
Yeah.
You're right. That's why you signed that contract. It's still football.
Yeah. Now, what do you, Rusty, what do you think the Tennessee's quarterback? I think he's a freshman this year. I think I think there's a little too much hype on his name as a freshman. Potentially, I think he's going to be good. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks by the time he's done.
He will be. I mean, you got to understand. I mean, there's very few quarterbacks as a freshman come into SEC and do good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, look at Alabama. Have y'all had a freshman come in and win the national championship?
They had
maybe once or two.
Tua. But Jalen Hurts got hurt.
Right.
You know.
But it wasn't that he started the season.
No. He didn't start the season. No. I mean, I'd have to go back and look and make sure, but I'm pretty sure we have not had a.
Well, to have a freshman on the Alabama team as a quarterback.
But I mean, as far as like again, he's a freshman quarterback. Yeah. Did I ever think they were going to make the playoffs? No.
But
I mean, he looked good. He showed moments. I mean, he's one of the better quarterbacks even as a freshman we've had. Hendon Hooker was awesome. Yeah. But I mean, you can't help a non-contact injury like that. No. That's going to happen. But I mean, he showed moments. He showed a lot of poise under duress. But there's also a lot of things that needs to work on in Tennessee. I mean, you lean very heavily on the running back. You know, I think offense is a passing offense.
I think that's what helped him out a lot this year with that running back.
That Simpson, he was a beast. And people that's just kind of throw shade on him.
To be kind of on the smaller side, too.
Oh, yeah. He was not that big. But to get the yardage and stuff that he got this year through an SEC team, I know that that Boise State running back had over 2,000. Was it Boise?
Yeah.
Which getting 2,000 in the NCAA is a big thing. But it's bigger to get 2,000 yards in the SEC than it would be.
Well, even in a Big Ten, like I mean, they have some good running backs too. But I mean, who does Boise play?
Right. Well, that's kind of what I was kind of going at.
I mean, who does they play?
I guess whoever will play on the blue field.
I'm telling you that. I know, right? I can't watch
a game. I can't either. It messes my eyes. I can't either.
But there's
is it Northwestern? No, Northern Illinois.
They
got a red field.
There's three. Yeah. There's three college football teams that have a colored field. And so I can't remember. Boise is the only one that.
Yeah, it's like North. I can't remember. I have to look it up. Now, it's as red as that Folgers can.
Yeah,
it's nasty.
Now going back to what you were saying, asking on changes. What the biggest thing I want to see a change in the portal, and I want to see a change. I think that they should cap these NIL deals. I'm not going to say that I'm all about the college players getting paid because they had everything already handed to them when they come straight out of high school. They pretty much get anything they want. But it is what it is. It's today's college football.
They're getting paid. They've gotten paid for decades.
Well, under the table, but now it's legal.
Now they got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah, I would like to see more of a cap. Where there's only a certain amount that these colleges can pay out to these kids. To me, it would be a contract. Now these kids they don't owe the universities nothing. There's no loyalty there. I mean, they can go in 1 year and leave the next, or not even be there a year and leave the next.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
still saying, "Give me my money."
Yeah, I like to see some kind of contract there. Something that those three things right there, I would love to see a change in big time. I mean,
would you want to see more teams in the playoffs, or would you want to see less teams?
No, I think we need to stop at 12. If nothing else, lessen the season. Maybe take the season down by 1 or 2 games. But I don't want to see no more than 12. It's already controversial now. I mean, first year, who should be in, who shouldn't be in, and this, that, and the other. I mean, I think my own opinion, I'm a little biased towards the SEC, but I think that they got, the committee wanted to make sure that they had their own in there. I ain't gonna say their own, but there was some other teams that probably shouldn't have been in there that got in there, and they wanted to make sure that happened.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel. That's me though. But no, I don't want to see no more. I'm good with 12. I was good with. Well, I think 4. I don't think 4 was the right number either, though. I mean, anywhere 6 to 12, 8 maybe. I think 12 is a good number. I really do.
I mean, Rusty and I were talking. Rusty,
I've got the ultimate solution. Put the BCS computer rankings, install them back in, get rid of the committee, right? Shorten the season, get rid of all the bowl games. Why are we watching them? Everybody's opting out. It's a waste of time. No fans aren't showing up. Nobody's watching them. I haven't watched any of them. I watched a little bit of Ole Miss game last night and the Gator Bowl. But take the top 25, let them duke it out. Number 1 seed gets a bye. Top 25, let them, or 24, whatever we would need to do. Let them duke it out. There's no more controversy. If you're not in the top, you're done. You suck. Go home.
I mean, that's
because if it happened this year, Army would have been in.
I mean, that's
and I think that Army had a heck of a team.
They did, but Navy midshipmen showed up and beat that ass.
But I think
that's the best game of the year, by the way.
Oh yeah, hands down.
But I think that, but we've seen it in the past. Even though, what was it, 6-7 years ago, when Hawaii went undefeated and didn't even get into for a chance for the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it every year to where the teams that did go undefeated or maybe have one loss, that they're all griping and complaining because, we should have had a shot. Well, this year they proved that, you may have went undefeated or you may have got one loss, but look at SMU and look at Boise State. They went into places that they didn't need to go into, and look what happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a couple years ago, when was it, UCF or somebody claimed they were undefeated and they didn't even get a shot?
Yep.
Yeah,
they're undefeated and they claim to be co-national champions?
Yeah, they even had
they still claim that.
Yeah. They would have gotten destroyed.
They still claim that.
It's on the stadium facade.
And the thing is part of their recruiting, when they recruit you, they have T-shirts that says national champions.
I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly.
What do you think if they took?
Because wasn't that the year LSU?
Alabama.
Yeah.
That's Alabama.
That was Alabama.
Yeah,
Alabama.
Yeah. Good luck.
And that was in the midst of the Saban dominating.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be another one like
it. Them people, they get fighting mad when you tell them that y'all wasn't a part of that championship. But they claim it. They really do claim it.
Well, it's like the Alabama-Auburn game. Normally there's a death behind it.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Alabama.
Well,
yeah, or they go and
it's for logical reasons.
Put yeah. What do y'all think though? And I'm kind of biased on this next little topic on it.
Oh, the flop rule. We have to do something about these fake injuries.
Oh, yeah, and that was going to be another subject that I was wanting to bring up.
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, you're good, But I totally agree, because when you see somebody walking off or trotting off the field, and you see the coach on the sidelines telling them to get down, and
a yard from the sideline.
Yeah.
It happened last night. A Notre Dame player. The only thing that happened, his cleat came off. He picked it up. He was literally running across the sideline to go back to his sideline, and the coaches was telling him to get down. He flopped right down the middle of the field, and they stopped play.
I tell you, Ole Miss and Colorado were the two that I seen that done it a lot, and which don't surprise me with the Lane Kiffin team.
Yeah.
But old Dion, he likes putting that flop in.
Well, Prime, he can do stuff like that and get away with it.
Yeah. But speaking of Colorado, I think their quarterback was the most overrated.
Yeah, I wasn't too sold on him, man. I mean, I think he's good. I think he's legit. I mean, I think he's a decent quarterback and he's good. But look who he had to throw him to. I mean, he was throwing to Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Heisman winner.
I mean, hands down, one of the best athletes I believe I have seen in a long time. I mean, the stuff that I've seen him do on the field is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I
think the closest person, and there may be somebody in the time frame before this person, but I think he reminds me a lot of Julio.
Well, yeah, but I'm just talking about going both ways like he does.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he never comes off, offensively.
And he on special teams too.
He's on every time the ball's in play. He's out on the field.
Because down here in the South, we really don't get to watch Colorado.
But I think Colorado does the flop a lot. But old Lane Kiffin, he likes pulling that flop out.
Yeah.
He done it to Tennessee quite a bit.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's a sore subject.
That ain't your daddy, is it?
No, it ain't my daddy. Lane Kiffin's not a coach without his daddy.
I mean, is his dad still coaching?
He's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he died?
Yeah.
But
R.I.P. Love or hate him.
God, he's such a crybaby.
But man, he's such a good. He's brilliant. His offensive mind is just off the charts, man. I think he's.
But his dad, though,
his dad was
defense. But his dad, you think that he's good? Kiffin or Lane is good at offense. His dad was twice as good, if not better.
His dad was good at defense. Well, he's the one who started that whole Tampa 2 defense.
Yeah.
And what he done, if he would have stayed in Knoxville,
he would have been run out of Knoxville. He'd been like Butch Jones and the rest of them.
Eventually.
There was a story about whenever he was coaching at Alabama.
He's going to be run out of Ole Miss if he don't win.
I think it's.
They like it now.
Yeah, he ain't going.
He left Tennessee for his dream job and got ran out of that.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere down there. But anyways, there was a.
Well, it depends on if he stops sleeping around with them kids.
Well, that's whatever tickles you.
I thought that was Freeze.
No, well, that's how he got.
Wasn't that Hugh Freeze that did that too? But he got caught.
No, that was LSU's
LSU Ogeron.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one who he divorced his wife and married. I don't know how old she is, but yeah, that was
like my daughter's age.
Yeah. But I want to know y'all's opinion. We've all talked about this in the prior too, so I kind of know where y'all going to go with it. But what is your opinion on the Pavia getting an extra year?
Dang, I know you were going to go there.
Of course, it's Vanderbilt.
No,
He's got to get Vanderbilt in this thing.
Well, my thing on it is, as a Vandy fan, to have him come back another year is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
But
okay, let's throw that out.
Yeah, but as a NCAA college football fan, I think they opened a can of worms they do not want to. Because how many people, after they said that he can come back, that junior college years, which he could get a second year, because he was in junior college for 2 years. So he could get a second year. So, but how many people have you seen since that court decision? The judge decided, he's going to get an extra year. How many people have you seen take advantage of that?
Since he got I do know Justin Jefferson from Alabama. He's a linebacker. They're going. Matter of fact, they're going through the motions now, trying to get him an extra year. Now, I didn't think Justin Jefferson came from. He played junior college ball, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Outside of all of that, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, I mean, here's another thing. We've seen this whole merry-go-round before with this type of quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's a buff Johnny Manziel. That's all he is.
He is broad, yeah.
That's who. When I watch him play, that's who I see.
Well,
I mean,
but that's who he wants to be.
But here's the thing. Yeah, it was his first year. Next year, he's going to be a dud, and they're going to kill him because these athletes are too fast, too big, too strong. The coaches are too smart. They're going to figure a game plan, and they're going to. They're going to put his dick in the dirt, and it's going to be done.
That's exactly what I see.
He's a 1-year hero. Pay him all you want to, Colin. You're going to be 2 wins next year.
That's the exact same thing that happened to Johnny Manziel.
I mean, look at Johnny Manziel in the NFL. Same exact thing. You can't. These types of quarterbacks do not last in football.
Oh, Johnny can put that white stuff down though.
Oh, he
that and everything else.
He likes that booger sugar.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, he's got the biggest bar in College Station down there making a killing.
Right. I mean, that's where he wants to be. But
his problem was he couldn't handle fame.
No,
he could not.
Well,
handle fame at all.
His problem was from.
Did y'all see the documentary?
Yeah.
Nah. But I think his biggest downfall was from even when he was playing pee-wee ball or football, whatever they call that as a kid. When they were playing that, they called him Mr. Football from the get-go. So, his head wouldn't even fit going into half of these doors just because of how much that people were talking. This is Mr. Football. And was he good? Yeah. I mean, I give it to him.
Yeah, he was good.
But again, I agree. That they planned around, they schemed around it. And I do agree, besides the 2 and whatever, they're going to win more than that. I think they're going to be good, especially with who they've gotten through the transfer portal. They're going to be a stout team.
Yeah, you're going to beat your tune-up games, and you're going to beat Kentucky if y'all play Kentucky. That's it, dude. That's it.
Oh, I love it.
That's it.
Now they.
You're going to anchor down, all right. You're not going nowhere.
We're going to see when
you're not going nowhere.
We're going to see SEC champions next year is going to be the championship's going to Nashville.
Oh.
And
Nashville's got enough problems.
See, this is what happens when you live in a Pavia season. You just get totally brainwashed.
It's like he's got beer goggles on.
Yeah. Oh man, trust me, I know.
How many times? Literally, how many times have we watched this? It's the same merry-go-round.
I told him. You know,
look at Tebow.
Well, I told him the exact same thing you just told him. And he said, oh, they're going to win it. They're going to win it.
They're going to win it.
I hope they do, but they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I mean, I to be honest with you, I'd like to see Vanderbilt win one. Honestly, it'd be a great change.
Oh, yeah. And well, the thing is the NIL and the transfer portal has made the teams, like what Pappy was saying, has leveled out the playing field.
Yeah.
But, and like what Rusty was saying, how it's going to get altered to where the big teams are going to come back out of all this is you're going to have to throw money at these players to get them to come.
Oh, yeah.
$20 million, I can see within the next 5 to 10 years, $20 million is going to be nothing to throw at these kids.
And you know, if I was a smart kid back playing right now, and I was making this kind of money, I'd be filling out a full body insurance coverage on my body for these football games.
I mean, but if these,
for the seasons.
Yeah, I mean, but if the kids, if they play it right, I mean, you're going to, let's say, like with Ewers, I mean, he's $6 million.
What about what about Michigan's quarterback?
$8 million.
10.
He's got up to 10.
The
one that's coming in.
Yeah.
Because
$10 million.
Barstool, did you hear about that? But I mean, if you play it right, it don't matter what it is, 6 to 10 or whatever.
So does he get it as soon as he steps on campus? Does he get it as soon as he signs?
I think
he's got to sign. I know.
Yeah,
or is it payments?
I see. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works. I don't know. I think it's over a year, or it can't be over a year, man. That's a lot of money.
But it's not a contract.
Ain't none of this contracted.
But that's what it should be. That's what.
So basically, Michigan's handing an 18-year-old kid $10
million for him to not like a coach.
I remember what I did when I was 18 years old. So you hand me $10 million, buddy, we're in trouble. I ain't gonna play football anymore.
But
I won't be alive.
But how easy would it be for these kids that's making that kind of money? I mean, if I was making that kind of money, if I got $10 million and we got a dog laying down below the mic, you might be hearing some snoring. But if you're getting $10 million, is that $10 million for the 4 years, or is that $10 million for 1 year? Whatever, $10 million, let's just say for the 4 years. You go your 4 years, why would you want to even, if you go, and I think they need to do this too, but I'll get to it. I think that they need to, with these kids, part of it is you have to go through money management courses to know how to manage money. Because a lot of these kids are coming from nothing, and they're going to have all this money, and then they're going to be blowing it on whatever.
Well, then that could fall back on mom and dad. But
a
lot of these kids don't really have a mom and dad too.
Right. But that's the reason why these schools, if they're going to be paying these kids that kind of money, then it should fall back on these schools. Because if I had $10 million, if somebody offered me $10 million, I'd go to school and then I'd go do whatever I'd invest it, and I'd just go and do whatever I wanted to do.
To be honest with you, it shouldn't. Why are you going to wait till college? It should be a general in high school.
Yep.
That should be some high schools still got home ec.
Yep.
That should be part of your high school curriculum.
Yeah.
Or better yet, a general in college, but I think you should have that before your junior year.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In high school.
So, but I think I think it's kind of crazy with the money that they're throwing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It definitely is.
And because you've seen the draft, NFL draft went from, I think it was 180 some odd people entered the draft, and now they've got 80 because of the NIL.
They're going to stay in school and make their money.
Yep. Because they're going to make more
in
college.
Yeah, because you're going to have marketing, you're going to have jersey, merch sales. I mean,
Yeah.
This Michigan quarterback, there ain't no telling what he's going to make off his jersey. Or what EA Sports is going to pay to put it in a video game.
So,
I mean, it's just never ending.
no.
It's never ending.
College football is not college football anymore, and it's sad, man.
It's minor league football.
It
what
is.
are you talking about?
It's sad. I mean, it truly is sad. These boys, they're not playing for anything anymore.
They're not playing to go to school.
No. You know what college used to play to get into the big, to get into the league, the NFL and stuff like that. Now it's trickled down to where these high school kids are playing to get into college. Which was that to begin with, but now you go to college, heck, you get paid. If you're the right man,
Yeah.
You know what I mean. It's just it's sad, man. It truly is sad.
Yeah.
And then the one and done thing, I don't like it. I don't like it in college basketball.
Yeah, I think though if you enter the transfer portal,
I think you should, and if you go, I think they should put a cap on it. You have to stay 2 years.
Yeah.
Heck, I say give the school 3 years. But that's me personally. I'm signing a kid for $10 million. I want something out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that it should be. I mean, I don't know if they can make it to where.
Because you got to think of this. You pay a kid $10 million to step between those lines and Jackson Jaws for your university. One play,
To be done.
he gets paralyzed. Better yet, it'd be like the Bills player and die on the field. Or better yet, have a non-contact injury like Hendon Hooker, blow your knee out. Well, guess what? You just paid him $10 million to go have surgery and sit on the couch the rest of the year. Guess what? He's going to hit that portal, say he's rehabbed, re-up, and go make some more money and play for somebody else.
Maybe not for another 10.
Maybe not another $10 million.
Right.
But still, because as a coach, if you gave him that $10 million, are you going to re-up and pay him coming off the couch?
But then again, that's kind of.
No, you're not.
But that's where they kind of need to clarify: is that $10 million per year, or is that $10 million per 3 to 4? The whole time he's got to be there.
I mean, they're going to have to base this, and the NFL is going to have to help the NCAA on this. Bottom line.
I believe.
I mean, you got to think the NFL has been trying to perfect this since it's been in existence, and they've somewhat have got it down to a science now, perfection.
Yeah.
And college is just now starting all this off.
I believe that the federal government is trying to dab their hands in it.
Well,
and straighten things out, but I don't know that they're going to straighten things out. I will say one of couldn't stand him as a football coach, but Tommy Tuberville, he was talking about that whole NIL deals and stuff like that, and these kids not being responsible or being loyal or anything. And he said, and this is where I got that 3-year deal. He said every kid should sign a contract and be a minimum of 3 years to the
university. Yeah.
Now,
I don't see Notre Dame losing anybody. Have y'all heard anything about them?
I imagine they have lost, but a lot of kids.
You want to go to Notre Dame? Go to Notre Dame. Good luck getting in that school.
Yeah. Go to Holy
Those
Cross.
kids are there for a reason.
Yeah. But what do you think it's going to do on college sports in general, as in like baseball and basketball or whatever?
Have you even really heard? I mean, basketball, I've heard a few transfers, but like baseball, I haven't heard anything like that. It's not like it's catching fire in baseball like it did football, obviously, and even basketball. I mean, yeah, you see kids transfer here and there, but and to me, it seems like the problem is football. In the college world,
football is your biggest moneymaker.
But baseball, I haven't really. You don't really hear much.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see like what Rusty was saying, the biggest money maker. I mean, because thinking about it, like out of 12 games a season, that you're only there 6 games, and you have these colleges that have stadiums that are bigger and better than the NFL stadiums. And how are they able to do that? I mean, it goes to show what college football.
I mean, you got donors too, but I mean,
alums. Yeah.
I mean, you got to think. I went to Knoxville, watched the Kentucky game. First time I've been in a long time. Thank goodness I didn't pay for the tickets. But you also got to understand. We'll use Knoxville as an example. To get season tickets at the University of Tennessee, right? You have to donate money to be put on a waiting list. It's a $10,000 donation right off the top to be put on a waiting list.
Yeah, you're not guaranteed.
And you're not guaranteed tickets.
And if you give up your tickets, you can't like if Rusty had season tickets, he couldn't pass it to me.
No, you cannot transfer them. You can't pass them. You can't do anything. They're gone. And the chances of you getting those tickets back? None. All right. Not only that, when you're selected off the waiting list to purchase your season tickets is another donation.
Mm-hmm.
So every year to be put on this waiting list is a donation of $10,000, right?
And there's 100
to receive your tickets is $20,000 plus the cost of your season tickets.
Yeah, for 6 games.
With this NIL thing coming in, they're raising the ticket prices and adding surcharges and this and that to cover the money to pay these players.
Yeah.
Right?
But then who's going to go with them keep on going up and use Knoxville and Neyland Stadium?
But there's other ways the stadiums are going to make their money. Okay?
Or concessions.
They weren't too bad, but I really didn't pay attention because I ate before I went to the game. But me and my wife, perfect example right here. We bought 4 tall boys as soon as we walked through the gate. 4 tall boys was $60.
Ooh, Lord mercy.
4 tall boys was $60. So the last time I drink a beer there, I will sneak in a 5th somehow. But we were talking to people around us. They're like, "Oh, how much did you pay for your seats? How much did you pay for yours?" Mine were free. Mine were a gift.
Yeah.
From somebody. But the people behind us, dude's never been to a Tennessee game, but went to the Predators game the night before and absolutely loved it, which, we'd been there before.
Yeah.
He paid for the same ticket, just one row, just right behind me. $600. We were 52 rows up. $600.
And the Predators games ain't cheap either.
No, we used to go for $10 a seat. Now at $10 ticket, $60 ticket or more, depending on who they're playing. But it's crazy. We walked. I think we walked because we came up the hill from the freeway, down the hill. We went to the strip, ate at I guess it's Gus's place over behind the liquor store. Down in the hole. It was pretty good. I've never seen a line like that in my life. Thank God we got there when we did. But we stopped in the liquor store or whatever, had us a drink, went and watched the band. We missed some of the the ball walk and stuff like that. But you got to think. I tried to get down there earlier. But the one thing I wanted to get down there and experience was the whole University of Tennessee atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my wife hasn't been since she was 16.
Well, and the thing, though, about...
Not to mention, we haven't had a night to ourselves in a long time.
Right. Yeah, it's...
Well,
not since the baby.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's other ways these universities are going to counterpart. And, I took the big truck down there. Squeezed in through an alley. I asked the guy, how much is the park? $60 to park. I was 3 miles from the stadium. $60. I mean, I got online, do parking passes. See if I can, StubHub. No, they're selling parking passes like they were tickets. It's crazy ridiculous. And the guy's like, well, I'll let you pay this price if I can block you in. I was like, well, first off, can you get this big old truck in a parking spot? Easily. Yeah, I got you. All right. I was like, I don't care what you do. Block it. I don't care. Here's your money. But I mean, it's these entrepreneurs, we're walking down through their merchandise being sold. There's people running around with coolers, running down the stadium on campus, University of Knoxville, selling beer, just right out of coolers. I mean, they're everywhere. $5. Yeah. If I was 18 years old, I'd be running around the truck, throwing them. $5. I'll buy the truck full of it. I mean, there's so many ways around these universities. I mean, you got to think these universities have made so much money off these kids in the past. It's not even funny. And now the college athletes are getting what they deserve and the taste of what the money these universities bring in every year.
Well, I mean, when you see that they're able to do what they're doing just on 6 games, I say 6 games, they still get paid going away.
Well, you also got to understand Tennessee next year. Tennessee's only got 3 home games next year. Just 3. Mm-hmm. So, they're going to have to make a bunch of money up in a hurry.
They're going to have, they definitely don't need to be tearing no goalposts down.
That's true, too. Like I'll tear it down Broad Street.
Hey, who'd
y'all beat again?
When you beat that elephant, you take that field goal post down Broad Street, chunk that sucker in. Isn't that right?
That's going to be the last time y'all do that.
Chunk it into the.
It's taking y'all 100 years to even do that. It's probably going to be another 100 years before it even happens.
Oh, Pappy is going to pull out Pappy deals.
Yeah, Pappy. Yeah. The only thing Pappy's going to be pulling up is turnips in his
he going to look like an ostrich.
It's going to look like something. Roadkill.
Alabama won't know what that pistol offense looks like. He's actually got 3 other targets on top of that tight end that they've got.
Ain't nobody worried about that.
But you know what? I've been a Volunteers fan forever. But I can say this about Alabama this year. DeBoer had his hands full.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to understand, that man is trying to replace the greatest there ever was and might ever be.
Oh, yeah. And we talked about it.
And
that was probably that right there is a feat in itself.
It don't matter who you have on your staff. That man had his hands full.
Yeah.
And he still does. Just think about the shadow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to outcover him before.
Yeah.
The next, for every coach that comes into Alabama from now on.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But
it's just like Ohio State. They lost to Michigan this year. They're screaming, fire him before the game's over.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in Ohio State wanted him gone.
Yeah, now look at him.
Yeah. They're steamrolling.
Yeah. Well, best thing that happened to Alabama is when old Jalen said that he's going to the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Boy,
I tell you, I like O.J. Miller. I really do. He's a good guy. But I couldn't be more happier than him entering the draft.
You got to hurry every time every Monday when we got into the truck.
But I mean, it's like Alabama just keeps reloading. And I think the portal's going to end this.
Oh,
it's already showed.
It already has.
Yeah.
The two teams that it hurt the most
was
Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah. But Georgia's fault was their offensive line was horrible.
Yeah.
They were beat up this year. They couldn't do it. That's why Beck got hurt. Their offensive line sucked.
So what do you think? Kind of go back on the playoff deals. Who do y'all think it's going to be playing the national championship?
Ohio State. Man, I just don't know about that second game. Who I think? I like to say Ohio State, Notre Dame, but I think it'll be Ohio State, Penn State again.
I don't think Penn State's that good.
Well,
but then again,
they've showed up at good times.
I do like Notre Dame's quarterback better than Penn State's, Riley. I think Notre Dame probably has the best team that matches up with Ohio State. I think Notre Dame matches up better with against Ohio State than Penn State does. Is what I think. But Penn State has a really, really tough front defensive line that they'll absolutely get after you and smack you in the face.
I think
Penn State's always had that though.
And
they've always had a middle linebacker that would terrorize anybody and everybody.
And a coaching staff that likes holding little boys' hands.
Well, no hard feelings on that.
So, I think it's going to be Ohio State. There won't be an SEC team in it.
Not this
Sadly,
year.
But
Texas shouldn't even be where they're at. They should have got beat the other day.
yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know how in the world.
I got one more question before we part ways. What do y'all think about ASU's running back Scatterboo? That dude is a dog, man. He is an absolute dog. Attitude, I mean, he's got one heck of an attitude.
Is he a junior?
No, and you know what? He would be perfect for the Pavia deal. He done the same thing. He went through to junior college for 2 years. He might be a senior, and come to ASU.
His dad played at ASU.
Absolute dog. I think he's one of the best running backs I have seen in. He reminds me of an All-Scott and a Barry Sanders put together. Just he's a freaking bulldog. I'm just talking about absolutely. I love watching him play. And I didn't even watch him play until they played. Who was it? Not Texas, but the playoff game. No, they didn't play in the play.
Hey, if Scatterboo wants to carry that rock and get paid, go to Knoxville.
Oh, I know who it was.
Go to Knoxville.
It was their championship, their conference championship. That's the first time I've seen him play. I was like, who is this guy? I mean, just
Dude's stout.
Yeah, man.
Dude's stout.
Well, and I mean, what I liked about it though was his vision once he got the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I was, it was refreshing to see a running back like that again. I mean, all running backs are different, unique in their own little way, but he just had that power like a Mike Allstott or a Barry Sanders, and just.
But Allstott was a fullback.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But a big one. He was a big dude, man.
Allstott was a big dude.
But he was very light on his feet. Could take a hit. Could give a hit. It was. And I love his name, Scatterboo. Or something or whatever. I think I'm saying
it's Scatterboo.
So I think I'm saying it right, Scatterboo. I love.
He also won the MVP from a losing team too.
Yeah.
First time ever, I think.
So
I loved him. I liked watching him play. I really did. I mean, I remember as a kid with my dad. I saw glimpses of Bo Jackson. He kind of reminds me of Bo a little bit. Because Bo was a straight line guy.
Oh, yeah.
Scatterboo is a straight line guy.
He will get a little east and west with me. Yeah, you're right. He'll turn them shoulder pads north south, son, and it's just
That's how you get
yards.
yards.
I mean, dude's solid.
Yes,
solid.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, I hope we get to see more of him. I really do.
Yeah, that'd be good. I like
because he's got a future.
I like to see him in the SEC for sure.
Somewhere.
Yeah, at Alabama.
Playing with the black and gold anchoring
He
down.
can't play at Alabama. He can't play at Alabama.
Oh, he can play. Yeah, he can play at Alabama.
No, he can't.
You know, you hear what Coach Saban said about him?
What?
That Scatterboo was one of his favorite players to watch. So Scatterboo, just how he said you just don't see players. Nowadays you don't see very many players like that.
They have the heart.
Yeah. I mean, and dude's not very big.
No.
I mean,
well, it's kind of.
I think he's like 5'8", 5'9", maybe.
Well, them small guys is the ones that you always see has the biggest heart. They know that. I mean,
and they was talking about the old boy's head. It's like that boy got a big old noggin.
His dad looked like up in the stands. He was a big old boy too.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to wrap this sucker up. And,
Today's Friday.
Today's Friday, brother.
First Friday.
Till midnight.
So, I think we're going to wrap it up. Next episode we're going to have, I think we're going to actually kind of get more into the outdoors. We got 2 guys in this part of the 3 bald guy outdoors. 2 of them are big time hunters. And so it's going to give me a chance to kind of I'm going to be asking a bunch of questions. The other guy's going to be answering, but I'll ask some questions. And just the knowledge in between both of these guys with hunting and what they do, why they do things is pretty knowledgeable and good, useful information, I believe. And they've got some deer mounts and stuff to show for it. Even though some may not have gotten one this year, but
every dog has his day.
Yeah. But
I'll beat you up the bear.
Yeah, I got a 3-year-old.
But we do have. So we kind of hope that you enjoyed just the kind of the banter in between each other, giving a hard time. But I think next episode we're going to try to do a hunting one. We're going to try to kind of stay with what's happening right now. And so just like how right now the football, we could have talked about hunting this time, but we're all big into college football, so we want to talk about it. So we'll get into some fishing, probably starting around right before the spawn, and right at the spawn we'll talk about fishing, kind of go into what we do during the spawn. But other than that, man, I had a blast. Enjoyed talking to y'all. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And also, we've got other YouTube channels that's personal YouTube channels. Old Pappy, he's got Double Time Outdoors. Make sure you hit that, like and subscribe. It is strictly just a hunting and hunting safety channel. I've got CMB Bass in 1983, and which is just like what it says. It's just straight up fishing, mostly bass fishing. I've actually got these 2 actually on my boat that's in it, and so we're trying to get Rusty to do one, and but Rusty has a 3-year-old that keeps him busy.
Buddy, it's time he gets up to the time he goes to bed.
And so we got to see a little Gage here a little bit before we got started, and he was all wired up, ready the rock and roll. He's like that till he passes out, isn't he?
Yeah, Monday through Friday we have really long days.
Yeah.
But he was ready. See his mama.
So, but guys, we're gonna end it right here, and we'll see you here on the next one. We're going to try to do 2 episodes a month, and that's our goal. If it happens just to be 1 episode a month, then so be it. But make sure you share this, and thanks for watching 3 Bald Guys Outdoors. We'll see you on the next one, guys.
PappyJ out.